Welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. I'm your host, Max Moreau, and with me is Philip Wilson, my tech.
Yep, I'm easily amused.
All right, yeah, we were both giggling about something. Anyway, so how do I get back to my screen? There we go. Welcome back. So I kind of want to wrap this one up because, quite honestly, I'm bored of it. But let's. So what we've got going on right now is we've got level transitions between two levels. We don't really have a method for determining whether a level should be able to be transitioned yet. So we're going to add a door on this episode that blocks our exit until we've defeated enough enemies or something. We're going to fix the bug involved with all of these bullets that are falling to in 3 space there. They're supposed to be blowing up on impact, but we screwed that up somehow. Well, I screwed that up somehow.
It's just a crossbow, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's a crossbow.
They're just
now.
darts. You're just shooting a ton
They're supposed
of
to be
darts.
explosive darts, though.
They do
And
look
actually, I
kinda
really
cool.
should put making a power-up go into this words. So, yeah. All right, so yeah, we've got a second level, and it's got turrets and stuff. So it gives us an idea of where we're going to go. So basically, I'm going to do bug fix triage real quick on the bullets here. We're going to get the doors working, and I'm going to try and get a power-up that's temporary that makes it so the bullets are explosive, and then we'll probably call it good on this project. I'm going to skip the sound pass on this one. So, all right. So let's start by putting a door that keeps you from exiting the level. So first off, I'm going to first take the exit. I'm going to move it slightly out, just so that it's easier to block. And we're going to create a... basically just duplicate one of these. Copy paste, I guess will work.
Copy paste.
Move this here and make it big enough to block the whole thing. So I'm just going to extend the size just slightly. That sounds good. That might actually be exact even. We just got lucky. Let's call this 0. Yeah, it looks pretty sealed up. That's nice. All right, so this one I'm going to actually label. I'm going to label it as right exit. So if you were setting up a bunch of levels, you might set up different levels with different exits in different areas. We're not doing that. I'm just basically showing you how this is set up, and you can do some homework on your own to make it more interesting and more fun. So first, I want to just make sure that we can't get through this and just beat the level. Well, yeah, I failed at it there. Let's try it again. Nope. Yeah, no, there's nothing we can get through there. That's good. There's so many enemies. Should be using my shootings. Alright.
Pew, pew, pew.
So, we've got that. And I'm just going to call it right door, actually, because we've got an exit already. I think I'm going to put the exit as part of the arena border thing as well, just so that we could set this up as a prefab. As a matter of fact, I'm going to apply this to the prefab, so this will show up on everything. And we're going to put we're going to make a script to make it so that once a certain number of enemies have been destroyed, the door should open. So what I'm going to do first is, let's see what we've got on our enemy here. It's called fodder enemy. Give on message, give on collide. Alright. It's easy enough. So they don't do anything terribly interesting. So we're going to have some way for the enemy to tell our level that the door should open after a certain amount of time. Or tell the door at the very least. So let's do the door portion of it first. We're going to create a new C# script. and we're going to call it destroy after kills. So what we're going to do here is going to be pretty simple. We're going to have a public kill number. It's going to be an int. Okay, public int kill number. Sorry, brain's not working great today, but it's working better than last week, I think. So public int kill number. I'm going to default this to 10 for testing purposes. We'll probably jump that up to make the game more interesting. And all we're going to do is if kill number is greater than... Oh, wait, sorry. Alright, so maybe we will call it kill target, or number of kills. We'll call it that.
I always have the hardest time naming my...
You can name it whatever you want. You could name it Homer Simpson, but it's not terribly useful. Yeah, you want it to be self-explanatory.
Present me wants to help future me figure out what I was thinking.
Yeah. My biggest problem is once you're halfway through a project, you have kind of a theme that you've gone, and then you reverse the order in one case. Like, you just totally forget about it. So you're just typing away. You're like, oh, this should totally work. Wait, why is it called... Why did I call it that?
I actually just ended up changing something due to that happening.
All right, so we're going to have a private int kill count as well. And this is going to default to 0. And all we're going to do is if kill count is greater than or equal to number of kills, destroy game object. Simple enough. So that's all this script does. We are going to need one more thing here, though. So we don't technically need this, but we're going to do it this way. So one of the ways I typically do things is I usually use functions to change values here, and it's a pretty common practice in code to do it that way. And the reason I do it that way, as opposed to just having it where you get a reference to this object and change the value, is because you may want more than one object to react to this. So, like, what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be setting it up so that the enemies, when they die, they broadcast that they've been killed, and that gets counted somewhere. And so this is one of the places it's going to be counted. You might want to set up a dedicated manager for kills and statistics and stuff. We're not doing that in this case, but yeah, that's another way to go. This one's kind of like each object that cares about the number of kills will receive the message and do something about it. So, what are we doing? We're doing void update number of kills. Really, we should be doing this as a singleton like we did that one time. Although I've introduced singletons. I guess I could do a singleton now. Yeah, that's actually a cleaner way to do it. I'll show you why the singleton's cleaner. We're going to have a function here that increases the kill count. So void increment kills, we're going to call it. And we're just going to have it, when it's called, we will just increase the kills by 1. So kill count ++. Now, if we wanted access to this and in a global space, we could do a public void here. And so this means that, and actually public static void. So this would allow us to have a number of kills, and you basically we just do destroy after kills. Oh wait, does that make any sense? That doesn't make any sense, does it? Increment kills. I'm thinking about this wrong. I want a function that it calls. Okay, yeah, never mind. We're not going to do we're not going to do it this way. Ignore what I was saying. Well, actually, it's going to look very similar to this. So Increment kills. How do I do this where I don't have a reference? Yeah, this will be fine. Alright, we'll just do public void increment kills. And actually, it doesn't even technically have to be public if we're doing send message, though we'll see if we're actually going to do send message in a second here. So we're going to create another C# script called increment kills on destroy. So we're going to attach this to our enemy. So we're going to do it to the fodder enemy. We can't kill the turret enemies. I think I'm going to just keep it like that for right now. Makes them more menacing. So increment kills on destroy. What this is going to do is it's going to send that message to the appropriate place. We'll figure out how we're going to do that in a second here. And we're going to do it on destroy. So on destroy is just on destroy, I believe. So void on destroy. And we will do what we're going to do is we're going to send a message to whatever needs to get incremented. So maybe we should set this up as a manager and then call the manager. Yeah, let's do it that way. We're going to change this. I said we weren't going to do manager, but we are because it works better that way. So we're going to go ahead and just okay, we're going to tweak this one later. Let's do create C# script kill manager. Close without saving, I guess. I'll save it. Whatever.
It won't hurt anything.
So kill manager. So what this one's going to have is it's going to have. We should set this up as a singleton so that everything's nice. Let's go ahead and do that. I don't have my singleton examples up here, do I? Alright, we're making a ghetto singleton. Assume this is actually a well-made singleton. Assume this is, this will only exist on one object. We need a singleton because we've got the two levels. No, we don't need a singleton. One object. So we're just going to have public static kill count and public static int kill count, and we're going to default that to 10 again. No, we're going to default it to 0. And all we're going to do is create a function that we can adjust that. Actually, we don't even really need to have a function that adjusts that, do we? Because we use a public static int. Alright, let's just do this really ghetto. So, here we go. This is a kill manager. All it does is have a kill count, which is going to work for us well enough. I'm going to create a... I'm going to make it reset itself on start. Void start... kill count equals 0. I guess that's kind of redundant there. I'll leave it in there. So what this will do is it'll make it so when this script is run, every time it's run, it will initially start at 0. This is so when we go to the next level, when similar looking script is attached to a similar object, as we're going to do, it will start at 0 and not already be at 10 and unlock everything for us. So, so now we've got this. So, increment kills on destroy. So all this is going to do is we're just going to go kill manager dot kill count plus plus. There, we have a global variable in our kill manager. That was as simple as you can set it up. As I said, better to go with the singleton route, but I just I'm not having a fast brain day, and so I think it's probably safer to just go with the simple stuff right now. Remember, when you're prototyping, don't worry too much about the organization, especially in the early prototyping. Worry about the organization after you've got the prototype figured out, you know what you're doing, and then plug everything together and make it nice. You
can always make it work better later on.
Yeah. But don't get right to the end of the project and then clean it up unless it's like your first project. Don't if it's your first project, don't sweat it. Just let it flow. Whatever works, go with it. And then when you're on your 20th project, worry about the organization a little bit more. And the thing is, as you do more projects, you'll know how to organize things better anyway. So number of kills. So I'm going to not need the kill count here. So all we're going to do is if kill manager dot kill count is greater than or equal to number of kills, destroy game object. And we don't even need this function anymore. And so yeah, we should have all the scripts we need here. We just need to attach increment kills and destroy and set it up on the enemies, which we may have already done that. I think we did actually. Increment kills and destroy. That's it. And did we put on the door here? Okay, we didn't put a destroy thing here. So destroy after kills. Number of kills 10. Alright. Good enough for me. I'm going to go ahead and apply this again. We're going to save. I'm editing level 1 right now, by the way. Level 2 will probably change automatically now that we've changed some of the prefab stuff here. But yeah, so in theory, if we kill 10 dudes, this should open up the door for us. Yeah, it opened up, and then we can go through. Yay. And the door's already open here. That's because we don't have a door in this level, I guess. Nope, door's still open.
Yeah, it probably didn't reset Did it reset the variable afterwards?
I know why. Okay, so this kill manager, I put it in start to reset, which means that it has to be attached to an object. So all I have to do is just make sure that it's attached to something. So I'm going to put it in our arena border because that'll guarantee it'll go into both levels. So we're going to just do kill manager on arena border. And let's see. So let's see how this works now. Oh wait, I want to apply that so it goes to the next level. Apply. When you hit apply there, that just saves it to the prefab from, because we were editing it in the project viewer. So I died. What a terrible test. All right, so there we go. Reset the walls there on the next level, and yay, we can go to the next level. Alright, so everything worked out pretty nicely there. So that's good. That's one in the bag right there. So let's see what's going on with those projectiles and why they are not behaving the way that they're supposed to be. So I think these are the explosive billets. Straight on invisible, explode on collision. Oh, they don't have any valid tags attached to them. So these ones, I kind of want them to explode if they hit anything. Most anything. I don't really have a case for that, do I? Let's make a case for that. Alright, so right now what we're doing is based on tag. We're doing if collision.gameObjects tag, and I just realized we did this based on tag, and it was my homework actually to figure out how to do this with layers, and I failed at my homework once again. I had kind of a rough week. I'll go into it at the end of the episode, but yeah, let's see what we got here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so if what is it called? Collision.gameObject.tag. So I want to make a separate one for if valid tags dot length equals 0. Then we just do this without the check for the tag. Just going to duplicate it in there. So as we duplicate some code, I'm going to be a little bit, I'm going to actually do the right thing and make a function real quick. So void, what are we going to call this? It's called explode and collision. Spawn explosion. And we're just going to copy this section into there. Oops. And make it all right. And then we're going to just put spawn explosion in these sequences. And we can get what we need to put another return right here. Return and return. Because this return takes us back to here, and then we want to actually get out of it if we've already found a valid thing. And actually this one's kind of redundant because it'll fall out anyway, so I'll get rid of that one. So, in theory, this should now fix our projectiles so that they actually explode now. So what I've done basically is, if you specify that it should collide with something, or it should... so basically, we've got this tag. So if I was to put one tag here and just put a random string in, these will not explode when they hit anything because there's nothing with that tag. It just made a liar out of me. What does that mean? Explosive bullet. That's a little worrisome. Alright, so that wasn't supposed to work, but it does. So obviously we did something wrong. When I say we, I mean I. But that being said, I usually give you guys credit for when I'm a genius too. So I'm going to give you guys partial credit for when I screw up too. So what did we do? Spawn explosion for each string tag involved. Oh, I see what I did. Do you see what I did? When I adjusted the top one here, redo. Please redo. All right, there we go. So I actually wanted to put it in here. I had gotten rid of this if statement. This is actually kind of important. So spawn explosion, and we're going to do that again in here. And that should cover it now. So now that I've got one that's screwed up, it should not explode. Yeah, good. None of them are exploding. And if we were to put a single valid tag, like if we wanted to make it so it just exploded on enemies, we could do enemies. Is it called enemies or is it called enemy?
That's a good question.
Let's find out. Fodder enemy. It's called enemy. Alright, so let's go back to our explosive bullet. So we could do enemy, and now it will only explode if it hits enemies, but we want it to explode if it hits everything. But if we set it to nothing in the list, it will explode on everything. So now this function has become more useful to us in that we can use it in a generic way. The only thing we can't do right now is do everything but a certain thing, but I'm not going to bother changing for that because we don't really need that. But that's something you could think of to add, or things that you might need for this kind of thing. The layers might have been a better way of going about things, but yeah, I'm not. I wasn't prepped for that today. So even though I said I was going to be. So we've got the explosive bullet bug fixed. We've got a method to limit you from exiting the level. I'm going to go ahead and first, not the kill manager, I'm going to change the right door here. I'm going to change it to 50 kills, so it's a little bit more interesting. And I'm going to apply it so that it's on the other level too. So let's see how that feels real quick. So the other thing that we wanted to fix was we want to actually add a real honest-to-goodness power-up, which is a pickup that when you touch it, it creates, it gives you a new weapon. In this case, it's going to be the weapon that we have currently. And so let's start on that in just a second here. I just want to make sure this 50 kill things work. Yeah, that looked like about 50 kills. I wasn't counting, were you?
No.
All right. So, yeah. Let's try this again. All right, so let's see here. All right, so power up. What we're going to do is I'm going to start by creating a object for it. So we're going to create what's a good power up? Cylinder. Let's make a capsule. It's like a pill.
Bill's here.
Just couldn't resist.
No, couldn't resist.
Couldn't do
Sorry.
it. I almost did it. Alright, so here we go. So I just am going to create a new, duplicate red, call it green, because green's a good color for some reason. And
it means go.
Yeah, it does mean go. It means go. Go, go, go. Alright.
I have certainly yelled that in my car before. It means go.
Let's make it smaller. 0.5. 0.5. Is that small enough? No, let's make it even smaller. Oh, wait. Wait, let's not make it smaller because that's how big it actually is. That's perfect. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees or something. Y. Nope, not Y. Nope. Alright, so we have our little capsule power up. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And it already has a collider, so that's nice. So what this thing's going to do is give the player a power for a limited amount of time. So let's try and make this in a generic fashion so that we can make the power-up basically change it. What the power-up's going to do is it's going to change up the ammo type for the player. And then after the set amount of time, it will set it back to the old ammo type. Is this going to work well doing it that way? So when the player collects the power-up, he's going to... the power-up is going to be destroyed. Which means that its script is destroyed, so it's going to be hard to put a timer on the power-up and actually have it work. So the timer's going to have to be on the player in some way. Let's start coding until we hit a corner, like we usually do, and see what we can get going on, at least to get it changed out in the initial sense. So, what is it called? New behavior script. We're going to create a weapon power up. Alright. So, weapon power up. We're going to do on void on collision enter. Maybe we'll do something clever with this. I feel like doing something clever tonight. My brain said I want to do clever now, so It's his funeral. So we're going to do, on collision error, we're going to change player weapon. So public game object, new weapon, and we're going to do a public float power up time. And we're going to default this to 10 seconds. So, on collision enter. Alright, so we don't want to just change the player weapon on collision error. We want to change the player weapon on what are we using for our shooting thing? Are the enemies using the same thing for the shooting? Whatever. I'm not going to do that. That would be kind of interesting, though. I was thinking, maybe we should have a game where the enemies can use the power-ups for once. So, we want to make sure that it's the player first. So, our player is tagged as such, right? Where's our player? Yep, he's tagged. So, collision enter, collision. If collision dot tag, no, game object dot tag equals player so then we change player weapon. So what do we have on our player that does the shooting? I think it's just the dual stick shooter, right? Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a reference to this script by using get component, and then we're just going to change the bullet object in there. So we're going to let's see. I'm going to make a. I'm going to go ahead and do it as a two-step. So we need a something that represents this script. So dual stick shooter shoot script equals collision.gameObject.get component, and the way you do it in C# is you put these two little fancy things here, and inside of it you do dual stick shooter, and then shoot script dot bullet equals new weapon. So what this has done here, I think this is the first time we've done a get component call, but all this does is it gets the component associated with this. You can do this for scripts, and you can do this for built-in components like rigid body and stuff. Although a lot of times, like if you're doing rigid body, like you could do this and get a rigid body component, but you can also just do gameObject.rigidBody to get the component automatically. It's already set up as in a nice, easy-to-use thing, but it's actually doing the equivalent of this. So all this does is it gets that component and then does this and changes the weapon. We could have also done it in one line by just putting a dot here, and then you can do the bullet equals new weapon. But I decided to do it 2 lines so that you understood, if you wanted to, how to keep a reference to these things. So, and then what do? We destroy the game object at this point. Destroy game object. Alright, so let's test this out. So first let's go back to our player prefab, and we're going to change his weapon, his bullet, to bullet. Is it bullet that we used, or do we have a player bullet? Oh yeah, bullet is his. Alright, so we put it into the bullet here. Let's make sure that it works because we haven't tested this in a while. Alright, so this is our regular bullet. They don't explode. And this thing doesn't do anything yet. As a matter of fact, I can't even... It's a wall! No! Alright. So let's actually attach that script that we just made to our capsule. Let's see, what is it called? Power up. Weapon power up. We throw this on our capsule. We're going to call this explosive bullet power up. Whoops, power up. And what we're going to do is we're going to throw our explosive bullet into here. And right now we aren't using power up time for anything because we haven't written that yet. But so the theory is this should, when I touch this thing, it disappears, and now I have explosive bullets. That worked really nicely. All right, so yeah, there we go. So we have a permanent power up system now. I'm curious, if I go to the next level, do I lose my power up? Yes, I do. That's good behavior. I'm okay with that. If you wanted to maintain that, you would probably have to actually have a player state singleton to progress between levels. Right now we're actually a completely different player object between the two levels. They're based on the same prefab, but it is a different object. So I'm gonna, before I forget, create a prefab for this so that we can randomly spawn them before the end of the night. I'm gonna skip the scoring and sound on this one too, just because we've done scoring in a bunch of different episodes, and we've done sound in a few episodes, and it's just gonna be me playing around with the SFX like usual. So we're gonna go with this. So now we need to make it so that it goes away after a certain time. So what would be the easiest way to do that? I'm going to do something, as I said, I'm going to do something kind of fancy. So, as I said, if we destroy this object, even if we created well, actually, let's see what this does first. I'm going to make it so that there's a timer. It'll be started after this. So, I enumerator. Actually, no. Yeah, we'll just do an invoke thing. So, we're going to invoke power up time out, and then power up time. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to create void power up time out. Alright, so we're going to want to return it to your original weapon, which, let's just make a public game object original weapon. No, we'll have it, okay, so if I was to do it where it cached the old weapon automatically, the problem with this is if you had picked up 2 power-ups, it's highly probable that it's going to return, the second power-up will return you to the first power-up, and then that one will never time out. So yeah, we're going to have to automatically figure out... Okay, so in the interest of making this automatic so I don't have to worry about changing things in a lot of places, I'm going to actually add it to the start here. So at the start, when... no, that's still not good enough. Let's see. Let's look at our dual stick shooter here real quick. I don't like having to set the same thing in a whole bunch of different places in case, like, if you decide to change what the main bullet did, you don't want to have to hunt for everywhere that bullet is used. You want it to just work right off the bat. So our problem here is we need to return to the original bullet. And if we just store the original bullet, if you had multiple power-ups on the screen, it would be possible to cheat and get permanent of whatever your thing was before, because as soon as that... So the first one will time out. I return you to... Yeah, and then the second one will time out. Yeah, so it won't work that way. So, what are we going to do? I'm going to have it so that there is an original bullet as well. Public game object original bullet. Can I actually get away with this? I don't think I can, but I'm going to try. Original bullet equals bullet. And we want to, even though we need this to be public, we don't actually want it to show up in the editor. So, hide in inspector. If you put this before things, even if they should show up, they won't. So let's see if this actually worked. So we're going to hit, field initializer cannot. Okay, that's what I thought. So we can't just directly do this. So we're going to create a start here. Void start. These are the kind of little details you have to worry about sometimes. Original bullet equals bullet. So now this will automatically set itself up once the game starts. And so we've got our original bullet equals bullet. And now we can actually reference the original bullet. So we're going to go back to our weapon power-up. And we're going to get our player, so that's let's see, game object dot get tag. Find game objects with tag. Find game object with tag player. So game object player equals that, and then we're just going to do player dot get component dual stick shooter. And this one I'm doing the one line style so that we can reiterate that you can just get away with doing this. So we're going to make his bullet equal to, and actually this is a bad place to do it that way, so we're going to actually just get a reference to it right now. Dual stick shooter shoot script equals shoot script dot bullet equals shoot script dot original bullet. So we're going to try this, and it's not going to work, but I want to give it a shot anyway. So we have it set to 10 seconds. We're going to pick up our power-up, and we're going to just start shooting. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, well, it didn't work. And the reason it doesn't work is because that object stopped existing the moment that we destroyed it here. And this invoke call basically never gets called because this object doesn't exist anymore. So the fancy thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, instead of destroying the game object, we're going to make the game object a child of the player. So we're going to say, let's see, collision.gameObject.transform, I think we can get away with. Collision.transform.parent. Alright, sorry. Backwards. Transform.parent equals collision.transform. And then we're going to, we don't want the object to be active in any way, but we want it to be present. So, well, we want the scripts to be active still. So, the way I'm going to handle that is we can just destroy the colliders and stuff. So, can we just call it destroy? No, we can't do a destroy call on that. But game object dot remove. No. So, what are we doing? I thought this was going to be a really easy way of doing it, but I don't know if this is actually true anymore.
Do a recap on what you're trying to do real fast.
Yeah. Basically, my plan was to basically put this object as a child and not destroy it and make it so that it doesn't show up or interact with the world in any way. So I could do that by removing here. Let's actually do a search. Remove component unity. There we go. Object.destroy. If the object is a component, we'll remove the component from the game object and destroy it. Okay, so we just use destroy. Okay, that's easy enough. So we'll just destroy. Destroy rigid body and destroy renderer. I don't think there's anything else that we really need to destroy on it. The other stuff can stay on there and won't really do any damage. Let's make sure though. So we're looking at player. No, not player. Look at power up. Where's the power up? What did I call it?
That's a good question.
Did it not get into prefab somehow? Explosive bullet power up. There we go. That was more specific because it's supposed to be specific. So, weapon power up. So this has a renderer, a capsule collider, and a mesh filter, and a material. So let's see what this actually does now that we've got that in there. So if I collect this thing now, you'll see that I have explosive bullets, and hopefully after a few seconds it will stop being explosive bullets if everything went well, which it appears to have not. I don't know, maybe 10 seconds is a really long time.
I don't think it's this long.
No, I don't think it's this long either. Alright.
I could be wrong, though. My perception of time could just be completely off.
Yeah. Power up timeout. So that didn't work. Destroy rigid body, destroy renderer. So that didn't hit save. Let's try that again. So I collect it. We've got explosive bullets. What are these bullets colliding? Oh, I think they're colliding with the gibs. That's funny. Or each other. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, and they're regular bullets again. So it worked.
Yay.
So what we've done there is we basically... I'm going to actually not do it full screen so you can see it actually in action here. Where's my maximize on play thing? There it is. So we've got our player. And I'm going to get him real quick. Where's the player? So we're looking at the player. And when we go up here, you'll notice that the player now has a child. And it's the...
It's a proud player.
Yeah. Oh, I died.
Sorry, that was a corny joke.
But yeah, so it now has this child. And then once that is done... Actually, it keeps the child, so we need to actually fix that real quick, too. So once we change this, now we can actually destroy the whole game object. We don't need it anymore. So what's nice about this is this means that the power-ups will stack in a way that we want them to. So like if you collect this power-up 3 times in a row, the last one will actually... Oh, no. The first one will change your bullet back. Huh. Alright. We're going to have to put one more failsafe in here. So if we... The problem with this is if we... Here, let's test it real quick. I'm going to put a bunch of power-ups in the level. Just duplicate this guy. Alright, so I'm going to start shooting. Oh, they block bullets. That's funny. I'm not fixing that. So we've got explosive bullets, and it's been a couple seconds, and I'm going to get another power-up, and I'm going to start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4... Oh, that was way less than 10. See, the problem is the first one changes the bullet back, and the second one doesn't actually work. So what we're going to do as a fail-safe is we're going to first go to the power-up, and we're going to add a tag, and we're going to make it power-up. And then what we're going to do is when you collect a new power-up, we first destroy the existing power-ups that are attached to the player. Destroy existing power-ups attached to player. I'm just going to say existing power-up attached to player. So we're just going to go with collision, because we're assuming that this collision is our player, because it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the only thing tagged player. So collision.gameObject dot what are we doing? Actually, we want collision.transform for each. Yeah, for each. I'm going to say power-ups, even though we shouldn't have two attached in this system, but I'm going to just do it. For each transform child in collision.transform. If you iterate over a transform, you get all the children of that transform. If child.tag equals power up, actually I just called it lowercase, didn't I? Yeah, I did. See, there we go. Does that mean me not being consistent again? So if that tag equals power up, we destroy the child. That sounds horrible.
It really does.
Alright, so now if we hit play, we shouldn't have that problem anymore. Because what will happen here is the moment that we collect this, I'm going to pin, I can't pin the play right now. So we've got exploding bullets, they're still exploding. Let's try that again. So, exploding bullets, 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. I'm going to collect a power up. 1005, 1006, 1007, 1000. Oh, it still didn't work, did it? I probably didn't. Yeah, I only tagged one of them, didn't I? I didn't tag any of them. Wow. Sweet. I just created the tag. That's pretty common, actually. So I'm going to go to the prefab. I'm going to put it on power up, and let's try this one more time. So, yeah, I don't know what that bug's doing. I'm not fixing it, though. So, yeah, we've got, it's been a few seconds. I'm going to collect another power up. All right, 1001, 1002. Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing. I'm smiling.
I saw.
There's a difference.
There's a difference between laughing and smiling, huh?
There is.
Not in my book. So I collected it. It's been a few seconds. 1001, 1002, 1000. Oh, it canceled.
There's an error.
Can't destroy transform component. Oh, perfect. That's easy enough. Dot game object. All right, one more. I'm actually really surprised that they don't let you destroy the transform and just call it good, because the reason they don't is it can't exist without a transform, and I would just make it equivalent to the game object thing, but it's not a big deal. So 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011. So yeah, it's definitely working now. So I'm going to just keep shooting until we run out of bullets. And then I'm going to exit the level. And so yeah, there's that. So now if we wanted to have these objects spawn occasionally, I'm just going to delete all the ones that are in here. We're going to just create a new spawner. So we got these enemy spawners. I'm just going to duplicate one of these, move it up, and we're going to call it, this one's going to be called powerup spawner. And because we wrote this in a somewhat generic way, we can get away with that. So even though we called the script enemy spawner, whatever, we should have just called it spawner is what we should have called, but it doesn't matter. So now we can just put our explosive bullet power up here instead of fodder enemy, and let's make the radius a little bit bigger so they can spawn basically anywhere within the play area. Just call it 10 for good measure, and we'll put it at 0, 0. And obviously there's some corners that's not going to reach, but we'll just make it so that the enemy the stuff spawns from there. And the spawn delay, we don't have a random on this. We'll just make it so that every 10 seconds we give the player a power up for right now. So here comes the enemies, and we're like, oh my god, how am I going to kill all these enemies?
Like, oh my god.
Oh my god! Alright, and there's a power up, and then we get explosive bullets. Awesome! Alright, and then the door opens, and we can go through it, and we go to the next level. We don't have our explosive bullets, and there's these horrible turrets, and they shoot us, and we die, and I'm going to call that a night.
Alright.
So, I think that went very well, actually, because we got everything done that I wanted to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's a basic twin-stick shooter. Some new material in there, so hopefully this was helpful for everyone. And so I want to thank everyone for tuning in, if you tuned in live or if you tuned in after the fact. Hello, people of the future. This is the present right now, but it won't be. It will be the past when you see it.
Speaking from you, or to you from the past.
Yes.
Straight to your future.
Straight to your future from the past. Alright, so I'm going to do the standard spiel. Buy Proton Pulse or download the free version. We have high scores on the iOS version. I want to see some high scores on the board. There's currently 40 people who have put a high score on there, and all it takes is just having the game center and hitting a block. You don't even have to hit a block. You can actually go in and quit. So not a lot. My game doesn't get a lot of play. Evidently, it's not that great. But yeah. Actually, I like the game. I just think that I need to advertise it more. But that's what I'm doing right now. So do something about this. And the free version plays with the full version. It's the same high score list for both of them. So, and then if you want to contact me with anything, contact me at pushypixels@pushypixels.com. Now, I mentioned that I was going to say something a little bit at the end of the show about my week last week. So last Thursday, I was actually laid off from Sony. That's my day job. And so that sucks. So I'm not. I'll go into more detail on it in a later episode or possibly on a different show. I'm going to have more time to do broadcasting stuff, so I may do a little bit more with that and see what happens. But just in case, if there's anyone watching and you have a game company or you want a programmer and someone like me might fit the bill, send me an email at pushypixels.pushypixels.com. Oh yeah, and my name also has to fit in your credits, so that whole thing has to fit in there. It doesn't even fit on the screen. But just make sure that can go in your credits. You can cut off the edges like I'm doing right. So it doesn't have to be that big either. But yeah, so email me if there's any job opportunities. If you would like to have a Unity programmer on your team, I would love to work with Unity. I will work with any game engine you have. I'm good with packing things up too. I'm not above a lot of tasks in the game development industry. So, but yeah, I'll have a full resume later. Anyway, thank everyone very much, and good night.
Have a good night, everyone. From the future. From the past.
From the now. It's bullshit time. I almost hit the stop button, which would have cut off the end of my broadcast, which wouldn't have been cool.
No, that wouldn't.
I'm going to put Proton Pulse back on the screen because why not?
Yeah, you should. I'm having issues with trying to get those stupid 5 points on there because of order of operations.
Oh no!
Bullshit. So I might actually just end up cutting it.
Here, let me go look at that real quick.
I'm trying to see if this bug actually happens.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's. No.
Is this like an edge case that you're worried about or something?
No,
or?
it's an edge case that I've seen.
Okay, even worse.
And it only happens sometimes, and I'm seeing if it's continually happening or not. But I think I can figure it out if I spend enough time, but it's just might be too much work for what I'm going to get out of it. So.
Fair enough. It is a letdown though when those things go off.